as requested by Epic Nobody. A story about a small red bird named Deon Winters who went to Wal-Mart to buy some muffins. Okay? Once upon a time, there was a little red bird named Deon Winters. Deon lived a simple life. He flapped his wings, and he pecked at the ground for worms and other morsels. But the simple life wasn't enough for Deon. He wanted to be a red bird that did human things. He saw the humans go here and there, to and fro, from and where. But he was not one of them. He was a bird. He was a red bird. A red bird named Deon Winters. And one day, Deon noticed that a human was leaving a very, very large building. It had strange symbols, and it was very blue. It was not like red like him, it was blue. And Deon saw some strange but delicious looking morsels that were being carried by the human. They were round on top, and they had a little spout at the bottom. They looked delicious to a bird like Deon. So, Deon decided to go into this giant building to find these special morsels that the humans were carrying out. So, he waited on a lamppost, and as soon as the doors were open, he swooped down and swooped in. And then he was stuck in between those sets of doors and another set of doors. Lucky for him, quite shortly after, another human came through the doors so he could swoop in. And he swooped in and flew into the building. And it was a big building, and it had lots and lots of things. But Deon knew what he wanted. He wanted the morsels with the round tops and the spout at the bottom. So he flew around the store, and it took him some time, but finally he found the morsels. They were brown, and they had darker brown spots in them. And they looked delicious to a bird like Deon. So Deon swooped down and grabbed up the morsels. But as he was flying away, he noticed that there were a bunch of humans forming a line, and they had many of these morsels. And at the front of the line, they would set down some shinies onto the counter, and then take their morsels away. He didn't fully understand it, but he knew that if he was going to take the morsels, he must first produce the shinies. So he dropped the morsels down and flew off. At the same time, some of the humans that seemed to run the store were trying to catch him. So he flew faster. And he flew higher. And he looked all around. Being a bird, he had very good eyesight. And he spotted some shinies on the ground. So he swooped down. And in his beak, he picked up the shiny. And he went up high into the building. And he placed the shiny in a safe spot for hiding. And then he waited. And he looked. And he found another shiny. So he swooped down, and he grabbed up the other shiny in his beak, and he swooped back up to his hiding place, and he set the shiny down. And one more time, he looked around, and he saw a shiny. He swooped down, he grabbed up the shiny, but then someone tried to grab him while he was trying to capture the shiny. He swooped this way, and he swooped that way, and he just got away from the human that was trying to capture him. And then he flew back up, and he placed the third shiny in his collection of shinies. And then, carefully, very carefully, he picked up all 3 shinies in his beak. And then he swooped down to where the morsels were. The morsels with the round tops and the spouts at the bottom. And in his talons he picked up those morsels. And he flew to where all the other humans were forming a line. And he swooped down and dropped his shinies on the counter. And then he flew up and quickly flew out of the store with his morsels, with the round top and the spout on the bottom. And he lived very happily after that. In fact, they all lived happily ever after. The end.